Hey everybody, I'm here with a few projects to share that I've been working on. I've been altering boxes, doing decoupage on the boxes, and I have several different ones that I've been playing around with. This is a little 3x3 wooden piggy bank, and I got it from Oriental Trading Company. Comes in a box of 12, but I mean it breaks down to, like, with my shipping and everything, it was like $1.67 or something like that for the box. And I used some of my 4x4 paper packs, and to get the coordinating papers, like this one has little hippos on it, the one little white hippo, some pennant banners, and just a geometric pattern on the top. It comes with the little plug on the bottom, and I picked up some strings of glass beads from Walmart and used the beads and my E6000 to make little legs on it, only because the rubber thing on the bottom, it didn't sit flat, it made it wobbly, so I used the beads to, not only was it more decorative, but to help it sit properly. But for the decoupage, I didn't use regular Mod Podge because I don't know if it's the humidity here in Florida, but it always seems very sticky to me. I picked up, unfortunately, it was on clearance. I mean, good for me because the price was great. It was $6.99 instead of $14.99. But Martha Stewart's decoupage and the matte finish, and I haven't noticed any tacky stickiness problem at all with it. So that was one project, and I used this on all of them. And then after I did several coats, I would use my polyacrylic, Minwax polyacrylic, a satin finish to go over top of all that for a more protective surface. Then I wanted to make some recipe boxes as Christmas gifts. Now this one I'm keeping for myself because I like it. And this is not your ordinary cheap craft store box. I bought this on Etsy, and it is made from a sign board. If you can tell, like, it has that craft paper look finish there, which makes it really nice for gluing your paper onto it. And it has this nice piano style hinge. It's not those cheap crappy little hinges that they get tweaked and they don't work anymore, or the lids don't close properly. But the guy that makes these on Etsy, these are great boxes. I can't say enough about them. Then I went through this thing of how am I going to make my matching divider cards, and I tried everything. I tried drawing it myself. I tried the edge things from Tim Holtz that cuts the edges, which worked okay. It wasn't quite long enough. But then when I tried putting my decorative paper onto the what's it called? The board, the chipboard. The paper, it wasn't staying on. It would peel off on the edges, and it was just driving me crazy. So, well, this was one that I did using just the chipboard, and then with the Tim Holtz die cut thingy. And I mean, they look nice, but I was having, for some reason, I don't know if it was the chipboard I was using, because I was like upcycling my chipboard, and it could have just been that particular type of chipboard. I don't know. But what I ended up doing was buying a box of already made dividers, gluing my papers to it, and then instead of decoupaging over top of it and taking the chance of it peeling, I laminated it. So it's more protected than before, and I trimmed it down, and it seems to be staying. It's not opening on the edges. I you know, we'll see what happens with that. I don't know if that is going to be the ultimate answer. I do have still a little like slide room that maybe if I need to leave some on the edges, I can. And I also printed up my own little recipe cards. I picked a pack of 4x6 cards up at Walmart and printed some out to write my recipes on. The only thing I don't like about these is it's very, very thin. This is not very thick cardstock at all, so I would want a better quality of those. And again, I used the Martha Stewart. On this, I used 12x12 paper pad because it's wider than the actual 6-inch. I didn't have any 8x8, so I had to use the 12x12 papers. And I used 3 different patterns on the outside of the box, and then just different coordinating ones, you know, with the colors and stuff to do the dividers. So that one's for me. Sorry, not a Christmas present for any of my family and friends that might be watching. It's not for you, it's for me. Then I got this, back out a little, turn it sideways. Sorry, I know I'm making you turn your head. This looks like a dresser. It's a jewelry box. Again, same thing. I used the 12x12 papers. Used the Martha Stewart Decoupage. I painted it just with craft paints. And these are beads that I picked up at Michael's, and I used those to make the knobs. One thing I can tell you, I had difficulty with this once I painted it and glued and everything, then my drawers didn't want to go in, so I had to do some sanding. But what I learned was wood on wood makes what is called heat friction. And if you take wax, just regular ordinary candle wax, and rub it anywhere that wood is going to rub wood, then they slide, they don't stick. You get a real nice functioning drawers. You know, it works really well. So this one is going to be a Christmas present for someone, but I can't say who, just in case they might happen to see the video. So that's that. Then this is actually, I ordered from Consumer Crafts. It is a like window flower box, but you know, it's like just under 12 inches wide. It's like 11 3/4. I ordered 3. My initial thought was I wanted to decorate them and then attach them to the walls, kind of like shelves, but you know, not this way, where things would place inside to use in the bathroom. Now, I'm not finished with this one yet. On the bottom, I want to put legs, because what happened, I ordered these from that Consumer Crafts. They were very inexpensive. I ordered a few things because I wanted to see how their wood-like products were. Two out of 3 damaged when they got here. The other 2 items that I ordered, both damaged when they got here. Now, the boxes were like really inexpensive. It would cost me more in shipping to send them back than it's worth. So I have 4 pieces that I can't use, and I changed plans on how this is going to be used. So I'm going to put legs on the bottom so that it sits up off, and you know, if water got underneath it, it wouldn't stick to the counter and be damaged. And I'm going to use it in the bathroom, toothbrush, mouthwash, you know, deodorant, whatever. So we have this very small bathroom that has not been remodeled yet, and I can't stand all the stuff just laying around. It's like makes it a place for it, because there's no drawers or anything in this bathroom. Everything's just piled on the counter. So this gives it like a home to keep it like neatly unorganized, if that makes any sense. But anyhow, that's what that one's going to be used for. And this one is my favorite. And if I hadn't already made up my mind that this is a Christmas present for someone, I would keep this myself. These are boxes that are shaped like books. And let's see if you can see. On the sides, where the pages would be, I used paper that had like words on it. I tried to get an like vintagey, antique-y look because the person I'm giving it to is very into antiques. And this one's going to be a hard one because I really like this. I don't want to give it away. But the boxes I ordered online from Hobby Lobby only because I wanted 4. And in the store, they don't have 4 in stock. I used 8.5 by 11 paper. It was Vintage Postage was the name of the paper pack, and I believe I also got that from Hobby Lobby. So first I used burnt sienna acrylic, and I painted just along the edges, anywhere that would be exposed. Anywhere that would be exposed on the of the wood, you know, like the edges. I used the burnt sienna. And then I decoupaged my different papers on. The lighting is really bad. So butterflies on the top, then stripes. And unfortunately, you know, these were really pretty papers, but a lot of it got covered up because of stacking the boxes. And I don't know if you can see all those, but they all have to do very vintagey looking, and I don't know, I just really like these. So, and I lined each one of the drawers with paper, and they're decoupaged and polyacrylic on. Wax the sides so that they slide in and out nicely. Then I got to, well, I bought, these are dowel ends that I used for the legs because it looked more like a leg to me than using a bead. And they're wood, so I just painted them with the burnt sienna and then gave them a coating of the polyacrylic to protect the paint. They're glued, any gluing is done with the E6000. And then for the knobs, I'm like, I don't want to use beads, and I don't want to pay $5 a knob, and they would be too big. So I started Googling it, searching, and I looked at something on eBay, and I didn't like it. And then I got an email from eBay with, you know, similar like items, and they had these knobs. They were like the perfect size, and they're crystal, and when the light shines through them, it puts this rainbow of color out. I mean, they're just gorgeous little knobs. Well, then I ran into the problem of the screws are too long. So John was going up to the local hardware store. You hear my cats, they're fighting. And so I gave him one of the screws and asked him if he can get a shorter screw. So I want to say he said it was like 15 cents a screw. So he picked up like 8 extra screws for me. And it was a perfect fit. They don't protrude out in the back. And if I don't stop playing with this, I'm going to talk myself out of giving it away as the Christmas gift. But I just think this is really nice. I'm trying to get it into lighting that you can better see. It's not so yellowed, but you can see the butterflies and the staggered stack of books. So that one's my all-time absolute favorite. Now, Jenna just brought over a little drawer to her box that she's working on. She wanted me to show. She's doing them in pinks. And she's not finished. She still has to decoupage, and she's trying out different beads to use as knobs. And what we did with that is, let's focus. We put the little pin through it. And we'll glue all that, and then there's a tiny little hole. We just poke it through with some glue on when we're ready and let it dry. And then you would take the inside and just use your little wire cutters and trim off the piece that's sticking out. But that will help it stay in place better. And this was just some of the strings of beads that I picked up to use, and this was how the little knobs came. They come in this little tiny box. I mean, they were just the perfect size. But it was funny because while I was doing this, I'm trying to like file off the edge of the papers, and I'm having to use a nail file, and it's giving me a tough time. And so John says, "Oh, you need a Dremel with the little sanding thing." So he comes home one day and he's got this package of sander things for me, and I'm like, "Well, where's the Dremel?" And he's going, "Well, just use the drill with it." And I'm like, "Okay." So, yeah, I'll need to get a Dremel to be able to use these. But I'm looking at them going, boy, would that have made my life easier, like when I was trying to file the paper around the hole of the little bank, or around the hole in the handles on this. Yeah, that would have made life a whole lot easier. So that's what I have, and thank you for watching, and hope to be back again soon.